talk a little bit about the sensor. The sensor is what took the place of film. It's where your image is actually recorded, and how it works is that the sensor is sensitive to light. It converts that light into an electrical charge, which is then processed and converted to image information by the camera's processor. So every camera has an image processor that works with the sensor data. A couple of things are important. How many pixels does your sensor capture? The higher number of pixels, the more information you're getting. The physical size of the sensor. So if you have a bigger sensor that has the same number of megapixels as a smaller sensor, the bigger sensor will actually have better image quality. And if you look at the bottom, there's a link there. Okay, physical size of the sensor. Basically, a larger sensor will have less digital noise. And these are some common sensor sizes. If you're working with a phone or tablet, the sensor is actually very small. It's just a bit more than 1/4 of an inch. Every what's called a photosite on the sensor that captures an amount of light is actually, every pixel in your image is actually filtered by these 4 colors here, or sorry, I should say 3 colors. Red, green, and blue. There's 2 green dots, 2 green pixels for every red and blue one, because the human eye is more sensitive to that yellow-green light. And these are actually converted to a color. So if you have a lot of green light, then obviously it'll activate the green. The camera will read it as green, and that will be the color of that pixel. It has to be converted. If you were to look at the information on your sensor, you wouldn't be able to wouldn't look like a recognizable image at all. So you'd have to convert it using the image processor, or convert it using Camera Raw, which we'll talk about later. If you have a phone, you don't have to worry about this because they're pretty much sealed if you're taking pictures with a phone or tablet. If you're taking a picture with a DSLR where you can change lenses, dust can get inside and show up as little black specks. The one thing about this is you want to make sure you keep the lens on at all time. Keep the lens caps on at all time. Don't change your lenses on a dusty, windy day if you can help it. And if you get these little spots, check your camera manual. A lot of cameras have a cleaning function. If that doesn't remove the dust and you feel that you need to have a sensor cleaning kit, you need to use it with extreme caution, because damaging the sensor means you're basically throwing the camera out. How to hold your camera. This has really nothing to do with sensors, but I just threw it in here. How to hold your camera. If you're using a DSLR, you look at the picture, left hand under the camera supporting the camera, and the right hand controls the shutter and whatever control knobs and buttons there are. Sorry, all you left-handed people, cameras are made for right-handed people. It does give both of your hands something to do. Other tips: keep your arms as closest to your body as possible. Concentrate on squeezing rather than jabbing at the shutter button. And here's an old tip: take the shot at the top of your breath. So breathe in and shoot while you're exhaling. Phone cameras can be a little trickier to hold on to. Again, hold it with both hands. Keep your arms as close to your body as possible. If you're shooting in very low light, and you'll see the reason for this later, your shutter may have to stay open for a long time to gather enough light to make the shot. If you find you don't have enough light, try and brace your arms on a surface, or put the phone or camera itself on a solid surface, or use a tripod. And